at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It is another hot one in the Midwest, but the A's are feeling good. They are going for the sweep. Rajay Davis, lots of sunshine today. He's in the lineup. And there is the battery mates for this afternoon, Landon Powell and Vin Mazzaro. The A's have the brooms out, and they hope to sweep the Royals. A's-Royals, the final of this three-game series. You'll see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Well, good morning to everybody back in the Bay Area. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Vin Mazzaro has strung together four very good starts, Ray. His last start was the Friday before the All-Star break. He got into a decision, but he pitched well against a good Angels team.
And everybody talked last year between Anderson, Cahill, and Mazzaro that maybe Vin Mazzaro had better stuff than anybody, but we know what the other two guys have done. But Vinny has pitched great of late. Great slider you see there. He throws the knuckle curve that we showed in Ultramo at the Coliseum. He's been doing an outstanding job with a two-seam fastball. He's also working on a changeup, as a lot of the pitchers are, especially following Dallas Braden. But Vin Mazzaro, give him some run support. He can win some ball games. He is pitching outstanding baseball, especially in the absence of a couple of guys who are on the disabled list. So great to see Vinny take the ball this afternoon. He's accustomed to this heat and humidity. I think it's like this in New Jersey. We'll see today because he pitches well. He seems to in this kind of weather.
There's a couple of regulars out of the A's lineup. Kurt Suzuki will not play today, and Derek Barton, so they will get the afternoon off. Brian Bannister, the right-hander, will pitch for the Kansas City Royals. When we come back to Kauffman Stadium, we'll have lineups, and we'll have first pitches. The A's are going for the sweep of the Royals.
AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Corona. Relax and refresh with Corona and Lime.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. And Landon Powell, Vin Mazzaro, Kurt Young has finished their work out in the bullpen. So they are ready to go as they head back to the A's dugout. The Royals have taken the field behind their starting pitcher, Brian Bannister. So we are just moments away from first pitch here in Kansas City. Game time weather brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission is free and the boardwalk is open daily. A little cooler today, 91 degrees.
Sure.
And there is a chance for some thunderstorms. But
where is it cooler?
You don't think it's cooler today than it was yesterday?
Is your fan working better today than it was last night?
I am completely comfortable right now. I really am.
Well, Landon Powell's got to be saying, why me? Seems like the hottest and most humid days, Landon Powell gets the work. He's happy, though, as he usually performs well on these types of days.
So here is the Athletics lineup for the third and final game of this series. Coco Crisp in center, Mark Ellis at second. Kevin Kuzminoff in the third spot. Jack Huss will DH. Adam Rosales will play first base today. He'll hit fifth. Gabe Gross in right. Landon Powell catching, hitting seventh. Rajay Davis in left, hitting eighth. Cliff Pennington is the shortstop. He'll bat ninth. The Royals look like this defensively. Podsednik, DeJesus, and Meyer in the outfield. Cayaspo, Betancourt, Getz, and Butler on the infield. Jason Kendall's the catcher. And 29-year-old Brian Bannister is looking for his 8th win of the year.
And it's day baseball, which is usually good for him. Last 6 starts, he's 1-4. But on the season, Brian Bannister, he loves day baseball. He is 4-0 this year in day baseball. As a matter of fact, Ned Yost and Bob Herb, manager and pitching coaches, kind of align the rotation for the next month or so. For day baseball, Brian Bannister is going to be pitching. He's got a very good fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. 1-4 career against the Athletics, of course. To all the folks back in San Ramon, California, who are watching today. That's where he lives with his wife Megan and their new child. So he is pitching in front of the family and friends back in San Ramon, but back here in Kansas City against the A's.
2-0 to Coco Crisp.
Well, the A's are 20-10 in day baseball this year, so you've got a team that's playing well in the daylight and a pitcher is pitching very well in day baseball.
And a win today, the A's will get to the 500 mark. They're 45-46. They have won 4 in a row.
He's got to lay off the high fastball out of the strike zone. And Bannister, like any pitcher, when he gets the fastball up in the zone, it looks good, but tough to catch up and hit.
Crisp lays off that pitch, drops low, so a full count to the A's leadoff hitter with Mark Ellis in the on-deck circle. And low, ball 4, so Crisp with a leadoff walk.
Check out our keys of the game brought to you by Toyota. For the A's trying to sweep this sweep again at the series against the Royals and continue to take advantage of a KC defense which has not played extremely well this weekend. Last night hot, today just warm, toasty, but a nice day. The nice blue tops, the uniforms of the Royals, the Royal uniform tops that they wear in day baseball games. And that's why Brian Bannister likes to pitch in the day. He likes the units.
First pitch to Mark Ellis misses inside. And they hauled those out a handful of years ago. Back in the 70s, the all blue road uniforms for the Royals.
You knew when the Royals were coming to town. I talked in the offseason when the A's acquired Coco Crisp. And the way Rajay Davis played the second half of last year, the 1-2 combination of Crisp and Davis, or vice versa. And today with Derek Barton getting the afternoon off, Mark Ellis put in the second spot as Rajay stays down in the batting order.
Well, we'll see if the A's are aggressive on the base paths today like they have been in the first 2 games of this series. And I think it's been one of the reasons why the A's have won the first 2 games. They have stolen 4 bases. Of course, last night, Kurt Suzuki, the hustling double. That ended up being a huge play in the game. He scored the go-ahead run in the 9th inning. Said it before, we'll say it again. That's what the A's are going to have to do if they're going to keep climbing in the standings. That's a base hit to left field for Mark Ellis. Right through the hole between third and short. So a good start for the A's. They have 2 on and nobody out.
Well, you want to hear some numbers. It's just kind of unbelievable. The A's, a team that over the years have not stolen bases, but a note comes out today that when the A's steal a base, they have a record of 31-14.
How about that?
When they steal a base. And when they do not, 14-32. So you'd think that Bob Guerin would read that and say, we got to run every day.
I'd run in the first inning just to get that out of the way, so I knew we were going to win.
Just get a stolen base. And at least try to get it, knowing that it's a victory. That means the opposition could just shut it down. It's over.
Who's been off? Fouls the first pitch back. The A's overall 69 stolen bases. That's the 5th most in the American League.
Had the pleasure of meeting Mark Kuzminoff today, the father of Kevin. They drove up, his family drove up from Colorado. It's about 600 miles just at the last minute. Decided to drive in yesterday and saw last night's game. And we'll stay for today.
Diving play by Casco at third, and that saved a run. But we just saw the keys to the game, and that Royals defense has been really shaky most of the series, but a very nice play there by the third baseman.
Well, Kuz hit it hard again, as he has done in this series, and Casco left his feet to make the diving catch. Good base running by both Chris and Ellis, especially Chris, but he was off second, but immediately went back. Seeing the line drive and the ball's in front of you, the ball's on the line, you go back. If it goes through, be happy to take the extra base, but not get doubled off.
1 out for Jack Cust, hitting in the cleanup spot. Cust was in the lineup on Friday night, was not in the lineup last night. On Friday night, he was 0 for 3, had a sacrifice fly. He's 5 for 18 in his career against Brian Bannister. He does not have a home run against Bannister. Talked about in our A's pregame live segment with Ernie Lansford about Jason Kendall being right back out there for the day game today. I was thinking Brian Pena is probably going to catch today, and I should have known better than that.
We started 85 of Casey's first 90 games. It probably was really upset the other 5.
But also, there's also a note under Brian Pena's name. It says his last start came on June 26th. So, Brian, sit back, relax,
and know that your time is coming. Yeah. The Gordon Lakey, longtime scout, now for the Phillies, and he said if you have a catcher who is going to catch every day, you have to be accustomed to being a backup and know you're not going to get a lot of playing time. Talked about Pudge Rodriguez in Texas, of course Johnny Bench in Cincinnati. Well, Bill Plummer at one time was the backup to Johnny Bench, and he never got to play. There's Jason, his games caught. He just passed Gary Carter, most games caught.
Three and 1 to Cust. Swing and a miss. Pitch right on the outside corner.
That's a good pitch for Jack to take to the opposite field. Fastball running away from him. He just opened up a little bit. It's the last 2 home runs Jack has hit have gone to the opposite field, and that is his style of hitting. He has a big gap on the left side with Betancourt really shading him up the middle.
Three-two pitch, got him swinging. That pitch down and out of the strike zone, but Bannister gets Cust to go after it, and he picks up his first strikeout.
Suzuki, the hustle double in the 9th inning, as the outfield playing no doubles got into second safely, and then Adam Rosales, a Booming hit to center field. Kurt Suzuki avoiding the bat at home plate. And he said his hamstrings, you could see him grab his left hamstring when he slid. He said, I'm on base twice last night, had to score both times. And he felt it, as did Derek Barton. Barton is not playing today.
I believe the word he used was barking.
Yeah, they were barking. Well, James Loney saw the highlights of Loney.
I saw him getting carried off the field.
He swung. They played in St. Louis. He swung, and his legs locked up. Yadier Molina had to grab him to prevent him from falling down. He could not leave the batter's box. And just got the cramps. And that's what Derek Barton said. He said last night when he kept grabbing his hamstring, he said it was just cramping up.
Betancourt flips to second, gets his there, side retired. So the A's get 2 on and nobody out, but cannot push a run across against Bannister. So no scores. We head to the bottom of the first. Getz. So Chris Getz gets the start today at second base. Davis, Crisp, and Gross in the outfield for the Athletics. And then on the infield, third to first, it's Kuzmanoff, Pennington, Ellis, and Rosales. Landon Powell is the catcher, and Vinny Mazzaro is looking for a win, number 5.
Hey, starting pitcher stats brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. And for Vinny making his 9th start, 4-2 on the season. And he has made some starts in these conditions, so he is accustomed to the heat and humidity, and just go as hard and as long as he can and turn it over to the bullpen. And he hopes at that point with a lead to try to get a victory again.
Scott Podsednik leading things off. Podsednik, it's a pop-up left field. Now carrying as Davis goes back toward the line. He makes the catch.
There's no doubt on a day like today, it's always important to throw strikes, try to get your fielders back in the dugout as quickly as possible. In his last 4 starts, 2-1, 230 earned run average. How about the 7 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts? And that's impressive.
Those 4 starts against the Reds, the Orioles, the Indians, and the Angels.
Talking to Gio Gonzalez today after the fine 7 innings of last night. And so we were thinking 8th inning, at least 8. He said, man, I was too. But they were saying first start back after the break and didn't want him to exceed the pitchers, especially at the time when the A's had the 5-1 lead. But he was gung-ho. He was ready to go.
0-2 pitch, Kendall to right field, and he's got a base hit.
Well, we've seen Jason Kendall and the fact that he loves to play every day. Ned Yost, his manager, former catcher, and had him in Milwaukee, and this is what he likes about him right here. He gets 0-2. stays inside the ball and shoots a base hit to right field. He talks about his situational hitting, and that's why he bats him second, because he can do so many things with the bat. And we saw that on Friday night when he hit a ball to the right side to advance a runner, and it's hard to keep him out of the line.
David DeJesus has been quiet in this series, 0 for 8. But having a very fine year. 107 hits, 9th most in the American League.
We saw Kendall steal a base, and he's doing the same thing today as he did last night, and that is to kind of get a short lead. So you have to pay attention, because he just kind of walk off, and if you come up immediately and throw to the plate, he'll take off. And that short lead is trying to discourage any throws.
He's a crafty veteran. He is, Jason.
Well, it's fun for us to see him and watch him play every day, and to see some of the amazing things he did behind the plate with the bat.
Jesus takes a strike with sinking fastball from Mazzaro. 2-1 the count with Billy Butler in the on-deck circle. Royals come in with a 5-game losing streak. They're 39 and 51 overall. They lost the final 3 games before the break to the White Sox, and then the first 2 games of this series. They're 18 and 23 at home. They're an interesting team offensively, a little bit hard to figure out. They have the best team batting average in the American League. Now, team batting average is not the first thing you look at. You look at runs scored, where they are 10th in the league, but they've walked the fewest times, and they have struck out the fewest times. The runs, just 10th in the American League. The A's come in 11th in the league.
Nice conversation with Gordon Lakey this morning. This guy with the Phillies, he was talking about the Phillies, and he says it's amazing. Statistically, it shows we're scoring a lot of runs. We're not scoring a lot of runs. And so just as you say, but you can have a game where you score 10 or 12. Sure. It brings the average up. But overall, you shut out too many times and scoring just 1 run.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost how do you divvy up your runs, right?
It's like Ben Sheets in a game against the Angels. He gets 15 runs support. Yeah. And that goes against, makes it look like he's getting 7-8 runs per game.
Throws everything out of whack.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, the Phillies have been shut out a whole bunch of times this year. Oh. 3-2. Kendall takes off. Bouncer to Rosales. He takes a peek at second. Does not have a play there and gets the out at first.
Well, one thing about Jason Kent, I think we'll always remember John Lackey hit Jason and said a few words to Kendall down in Anaheim, and Jason didn't like it. And so what happened? Watch what happens. Jason, and he's got Jeff Mathis. He takes both of them down. And that's the impressive thing there. He had a catcher on his back and Big John Lackey coming at him, and he took him down. And Jason said coming in when he joined the A's, he said, I don't want to take a day off, but I will get suspended a couple of days, and that will be my rest. And sure enough, that's what happened. But that was kind of an interesting. Jason, of course, not opposed to taking one for the team. And Lackey, as the curveball, missed him inside, but notice that Jason tried to get hit.
That was the one that Kendall was looking for to try to get hit.
Exactly.
Nice little curve. 2-0 to the cleanup hitter Billy Butler. Good season for Butler, .318. 10th best batting average in the American League. 6 little doubles. He's got 26 of those. Turned into a very good offensive player, Billy Butler.
I'm thinking like that 2-0 call. Fastball that was away and tailing back, and we'll have 2 of those right up here.
2.
Anytime, or maybe the whole train.
Man, that looks good. High pop-up. Rosales near the tarp, and he runs out of room as it bounces into the seats and then back out onto the field. So Rosales getting the start at first base today.
But it couldn't have been a better time. Rosales is swinging the bat well. Very versatile, plays so many different positions. And Derek Barton, who cramped up a little last night, and kind of like guys want to play every day, but today's a pretty good day to give it a rest. All his injuries, wrist, hamstring, who knows what else.
Two pitch to Butler with Kendall at second. And that's a base hit to center field. And the Royals are going to take a 1-0 lead as they get a 2-out hit from Billy Butler. Kendall scores 1-0 Kansas City.
Oh, when Vin Mazzaro has gotten in trouble is when he has hung the slider, and he just did it to Billy Butler. He's got a very sharp breaking slider, but watch this one. Stays right in the middle of the plate, stays up, and a very hittable pitch, especially 2 strikes and a strong hitter. And Butler took it right back up the middle. So the base hit with the 3-2 count to De Jesus got Jason Kendall on the move into scoring position. That's the difference in the game so far. 2-out hit and a hanging slider.
So Butler gets his 47th run batted in, and here's Jose Guillen.
What happens with Vin Mazzaro, and a lot of pitchers do it. They have a tendency to get under the ball, the elbow drops down, and they try pushing the ball. And especially the slider, you have to keep the elbow up and come down hard to make sure you get the sharp breaking slider instead of hanging it. That was better, but still one in the middle of the plate.
Fastball, and Guillen swings and misses. Guillen is 0 for 7 in this series with a walk. Overall, 273 with 15 home runs. He had a 21-game hitting streak earlier this year.
This Jose Guillen, who is with the A's, played in postseason with a fractured bone in his hand. He does not like to come out of lineup, and you noted last night with him running to first on the double play, dragging his left leg, but still in the lineup.
He played very well for the Athletics.
Yes, he did.
In his short time there.
If you have a bad rap because you want to play every day and you get upset when you don't, that's a good one to have.
Yep. Full count, so Butler, the runner at first, will take off, and the pitch is bounced to Kuzminov, who charges and to the cross side. Retired, a run on 2 hits for the Royals. So we've played 1 from Kauffman Stadium. Royals 1, A's nothing.
Bring your new school supply donation worth $5 or more to the July 23rd game against the White Sox. That's next Friday. And you'll get a 2-for-1 field level ticket voucher for a future game, the Wells Fargo and Oakland A's school supply drive at every Friday home game this season through August. Teaming up to make a difference. Thank you, Wells Fargo.
Royals 1, A's nothing. Second inning. It'll be Gross, Powell, and Davis against Bannister. A's got a leadoff walk to Coco Crisp, and then Mark Ellis singled in the first inning, so they had first and second and nobody out. Haspel made a nice play on a line drive by Kuzminoff, and then Cuss struck out, and Rosales grounded out, and the A's did not score. The A's have been doing well lately, Ray, is winning games on the road, and that's a good sign for the second half of this season. Of course, they've won the first 2 games of this series, but they've won 7 out of their last 9 road games. Now, that's not a huge stretch of games, but it is a good sign. The road record 19-26, but improving. Butler knocks it down, scrambles after it, flips to Bannister, and that's out number 1.
The stretch of interleague games in San Francisco, Chicago, and St. Louis, the A's were 2-9.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Which did not help, or 2-7, that is, in the 9 games. Now, Butler took a bad hop and used his body to block the ball, stayed with it, didn't panic, and had his pitcher Bannister covering the bag, which is exactly what a pitcher should do when a ball hit to the right side.
So 1 out for Landon Powell. Powell swings at the first pitch, broken bat, but he's going to have himself a base hit as the barrel of the bat goes over toward first base. Powell has a base hit.
There's a fastball tailing away. Landon does a good job of going to the opposite field, and he continues to impress us with his ability to swing the bat well with so little playing time. Somewhere Brian Pena saying, nice going, Landon. Know how you feel.
With Powell aboard, here's Rajay Davis. See Bannister really tries to work down in the zone. Not a real hard thrower.
Good sinking action on the fastball that he does keep down, low 90s. 89 to 91 with his fastball, but with the movement makes it even better.
Liner, but Betancourt has it. Quick throw to first, and a double off Powell. So Landon Powell got caught. Took about 3 steps towards second base, and he could not get back. So that's a 6-3 double play. 1-0 Royals, bottom of the second inning. Here's our Bloomberg Sports graphics. It has to do with Mazzaro. The ERA working its way down consistently. Now sitting at 3.81. So ERA headed in the right direction. Last 4 starts, just 7 earned runs allowed by Vinny Mazzaro. Here he faces Callaspo leading things off. Callaspo pops it up. And it's going to be just into the seats, first row.
Well, Rajay Davis in the lineup, hit the ball hard. Those 3 steps right there, just enough. Landon Powell could not get back. Strong throw by Betancourt to double him off at first. We talked about Coco Crisp at second. Line drive in front of him, went back to second. Landon Powell took too many steps towards second and was doubled off.
Fastball slaps from the left. Davis coming in, and he goes into a slide, and he makes the catch. Callaspo is retired by Rajay Davis, and that's out number 1.
So he robbed Kevin Kuzminoff of a base hit, so Rajay said, "Touche, I'll get you back." And he does. Rajay, of course, playing a lot of center field last year, and since Coco Crisp came back, was still playing center, so that ball slicing away from him with the left-handed hitter. That's an adjustment that he's had to make playing left field, where the ball comes at him differently.
0-2 to Mitch Meyer. Meyer was 1 for 4 last night. He scored a run. Bloomberg Sports, the leader in data analysis, has developed an analytical product being used by baseball clubs. There's also a product for fans. Improve your fantasy play or track your favorite players and teams. Go to BloombergSports.com for details. 1-2 to Meyer with Unieski Betancourt in the on-deck circle. Royals got a 2-out RBI single from Billy Butler in the first inning. Good slider there, and that's the first strikeout for Mazzaro.
See, that's a good slider. You look at that one compared to the one Butler hit, and you'd like to say, throw this one every time. You'd never get a base hit off of the slider, especially the way Butler did with 2 outs. A great slider from Vinny, and just a matter of getting consistency, which he is getting very close.
2 outs for Betancourt. Fastball runs high. Grand slam last night for Betancourt, his second this season. It gave the Royals a 4-3 lead. Got another run in the inning to take a 5-3 lead. The A's kept coming back and finally won the game. Center field hit pretty well, but Coco Crisp gets back there. He's got it side retired, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Vin Mazzaro. We head to the third, 1-0 Royals.
Reds host the Chicago White Sox. Game time 105, 15,000 fans that day will get a Brett Anderson jersey. It's brought to you by Pepsi. For tickets, go to OaklandAthletics.com or call 877-493-BALL. Come out. And the White Sox. Good guys are probably wearing black that day.
Yeah.
Although if Gio Gonzalez is pitching, they won't be able to because Gio will be in the black alternate jersey.
That's right. Gio will mix that.
Yeah.
White Sox in first place in the AL Central by a game and a half over the Tigers. 2.5 over the Twins.
See, Gio will pitch Wednesday, so he'll miss the White Sox series. His former team that he traded him to the A's.
1-2 to Cliff Pennington, who will be followed by Coco Crisp and Mark Ellis here in the third. Rangers have a 2-1 lead over the Red Sox in the fifth inning, so they're well underway there. C.J. Wilson and John Lester, pretty good pitching matchup.
Cliff Lee tried to go the distance last night.
Yeah.
Pitching in the ninth inning. Euclid tied it and won it in the 11th.
John Lester trying for his 12th win of the year in that game. 3-2 pitch is outside, and Pennington has the leadoff walk. Well, in between innings, they had the mini dog race here at Kauffman Stadium, and these are just little kids, and check it out.
Talk about hydrating. They're saying, let's run this race and get out of these outfits. But that was pretty impressive. Those kids, young kids' heads bobbing up and down. Could barely see as they were running. But get out of those suits as fast as you can.
Oh, man. It was fun. Now get me out of here. Coco Crisp walked in the first inning.
Coco and Rajay Davis were talking today, and I thought it was interesting. Coco said, I'd love to hit second. But he has an opportunity now, like he is hitting second with Pennington at first with speed. He says a couple of reasons. He said, if the guy is running, I like to fake a bunt. But if I need to sacrifice, I can do that as well. So he likes the second spot. Of course, leading off for the A's now. Trying to drag a ball.
So his point is I can do a lot more things, have more options if there's a guy at first base.
And a guy with speed who is a threat to steal. And again, the way he positions his head, you watch, he kind of turns looking over the right shoulder. So he can see the runner at first base. If given the green light and he takes off, then he can fake a bunt. Let him get a little distracted by the catcher, get distracted by the hitter.
Well, Cayaspo, the third baseman, is in on the grass. So good speed at first, and the guy who handles the bat well in the batter's box. Another bluff butt, and the pitch is low, so 2-1 the count. Did pretty good lead at first. Bannister is well aware of the situation.
And Jason Kendall, of course, controlling the running game, must be thinking A's are going to be doing something as he continues to call the throw over.
Pennington takes off. Pitch is hit to left field where Podsednik backs up a couple steps. He's got it. So Coco Crisp pops out to left field for the first out with Pennington on the move.
Well, he had Betancourt covering the shortstop, which all he had to do is hit the ball on the ground. The A's have first and third, and Coco a little bit upset with himself. You don't always get the pitch that you want to hit in certain places on a hit and run. And he tried to slap the ball, but by waiting when he did, got under it and lofted it easily to left field. You can see his disgust as he was running to first.
So one out for Mark Ellis, who had a base hit in the first inning. He had a ball between third and short. It's a pitch that was called the ball.
See Betancourt going over to cover, tries to deke, and he's throwing, but Cliff Pennington with the hit and run, as soon as he heard contact, he found the ball easily enough and was not taken in by the deke.
Bouncer to third. Second for one. And the ball past Butler, and Ellis turns around. He will head for second, and he will make it. So there's another example of poor Royals defense. That is a tailor-made double play, and they were unable to turn it. And the A's catch a break, so Ellis ends up at second base.
Yeah, Rich Getz taking over and playing second base, and did have plenty of time as hard as the ball was hit. Pennington going in at second base, really not doing that much because he couldn't get to the bag quickly enough. And
that should be an error in the first base.
That's right. Butler actually, well, really did not bounce.
So they gave the air to Getz, yeah. But that's a ball that absolutely has to be caught by Butler. As of right now, the air goes to Getz. So here's Kuzminov. First pitch swinging, hits a ground ball to Betancourt. Side retired. A's do not score. Bottom of the third coming up. It'll be Getz, Podsednik, and Kendall. 1-0 Royals. To you by AT&T. Who are the 5 players in Major League history with the most games at catcher? Most games as a catcher.
By the way, they changed the air. They should have waited until Billy Butler went back out on the field. It showed air on, but they did change it to E3, which was the right play. I think I could have bent over and caught the ball and maybe even doubled up Mark Ellis, but let the ball slide under his glove. Fisher score did change it. Getz gets an assist for scoring at home. That's Chris Getz. I mistakenly said Rich Getz.
I don't know Rich Getz. Do you?
I don't either.
I was trying to think. Rich Getz. Rich Gedman?
Maybe that's what I was thinking. We haven't seen Getz the whole series, and it's on with the White Sox.
Mazzaro scoops it up, and he'll make the tag himself. And that's out number 1 here in the 3rd. It's amazing what a baseball does to a youngster at a ballpark.
Well, I think I'd have been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Just as a fan sitting watching a game, glove or no glove, to get a baseball, show it around, take it home, put it under the pillow.
Plus, think about the baseballs that you played with when you were a kid.
Yeah.
They were like green and brown and
Taped.
so
Start
like
wearing
that.
out, get the black electrical tape, and just keep going. As you get like the Smalls did in the Sandlot and takes the Babe Ruth ball.
Podsednik slaps at it, and he's going to beat it out. How about that? There's a handful of players who will do that, and Podsednik is one of them. It's kind of a half bunt, half swing.
Get the third baseman playing in, thinking a bunt, and you just come out of the box, and actually he did not square around the bunt. He just moved up in the batter's box and just slapped it and placed it perfectly. The shortstop, Dick Pennington, had no chance. With the speed of Podsednik, you almost could just give the ball back to the pitcher, not even think about it.
So now we'll have a little cat and mouse game here with Podsednik and the ace. He's a very fine base stealer. 4th in the AL with 25 steals is Podsednik. Not going, and Kendall takes outside. Podsednik has been thrown out 11 times. There he goes, and the ball's flipped to center field, and that's going to be a base hit. It looked like the hit and run was on, and Kendall just looped one into center field, and he's 2 for 2. Podsednik had to stop at second.
And it could also have been just a straight steal, and Kendall got a good pitch to hit on the 1-0, and it was a good pitch. Fastball running in on him, and that's the situational hitting that Yost was talking about. Jason will not hit a lot of home runs, but he will do a lot of different things with the bat in his hand.
Here's DeJesus. DeJesus grounded out to first in the 1st. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Mazzaro with some movement, tailing away from DeJesus. DeJesus 23 doubles, 3 triples to go along with his 5 home runs. Very high on base percentage, close to 400.
Is that off?
Podsednik is going to get caught in the rundown. Kendall to second. And there's the tag, so that is a big out. Podsednik is trying to cheat a little bit and get a good jump, and Mazzaro did it perfect.
Apologize for trying to tell him to step off. I know he couldn't hear me, but
you know, maybe he did. You never know.
Well, it's the spin move. He looked back and then just the spin, and which is a very good move. And then all Kuz had to do was running back to second base because Kendall was there. Otherwise, he would have walked to third base. He had such a big lead. So a very nice play by the A's in the spin turn.
DeJesus, shallow left field. Davis coming in, and he's got it. And Mazzaro works his way out of the inning, and it will help as he gets Podsednik off second base. Through 3, a 1-0 Kansas City. Players in Major League history with the most games at catcher. Is Jason Kendall on the list?
He just passed him, I think. Maybe just joined it. Carlton Fisk, of course.
There it is. Yeah. He is indeed on the list.
Joe Carter was 5, and he just passed him. So congratulations, Jason. That was last Sunday when that occurred.
Cust, Rosales, and Gross here in the 4th inning. A's have had some chances against Bannister, but not been able to break through. They've stranded 3 through the first 3 innings. A couple of hits. He's walked a couple. Rangers got a run in the top of the 5th. They lead 3-1, bottom of the 5th over the Red Sox.
Well, you know, when Neil Diamond comes on the bottom of the 8th, that'll get the Red Sox going. That's what those 35,000 plus every game wait just for the bottom of the 8th inning for Neil Diamond.
For the 2nd inning in a row, Bannister walks the leadoff man. And for the 3rd time in 4 innings, he has walked the leadoff hitter. He walked Crisp in the 1st, Pennington in the 3rd, Cust here in the 4th. So he's asking for trouble.
Well, after Jack Cust swung at ball 4 in his first at bat on the 3-2, more than likely went in and said to Adam Roden, A's video coordinator, let's see it.
Cue it up.
And saw exactly what he swung at, and this time much more disciplined. Had a similar pitch and didn't swing.
First pitch to Rosales is out of the strike zone.
Well, that's 5 in a row out of the strike zone, and Adam Rosales looking at Mike Gallego, and I don't know if he put up a 1, which would indicate take a strike. Making throw a strike is the biggest thing, unless you can zone in on one down the middle and let it go.
6 in a row out of the strike zone, and that will get Kendall to the mound. Brian Bannister's dad, Floyd Bannister, the pitcher in the major league. Did you hit off Floyd Bannister? He was in the 70s.
I think I did. And Jason Kendall's father, Freddie, was a catcher. So you have a battery of sons of former major league players.
So then you could say, well, did Freddie Kendall ever catch Floyd Bannister? I don't know if he did.
I don't think that would have been the case. Freddie with San Diego, Cleveland.
Where did he go after Cleveland? I don't remember.
But he lives in San Ramon, born in Scottsdale, does Brian Bannister.
You and I could walk past him on the street. We may not even recognize him.
And more likely, probably would not want to be recognized. You know, guys
he probably wouldn't recognize us.
Yeah, but
you maybe.
They want to be anonymous, you know, just walk around and do whatever they want to without being recognized. Kansas City much different for any player who plays for the Royals.
Rosales spins on one, hits it deep to left. Podsednik into the corner. Look it up. Gone.
Wow. Hurry up, Jack. He's going to catch you.
He already has.
Yes, he has.
Adam Rosales tees off. That one was deep to left. So the A's take a 2-1 lead on the home run by Rosales here in the 4th.
Well, 2 weeks ago today, he took Carmona deep in Cleveland. A solo shot. This was a 2-run home run, a fastball belt high, and he did not get cheated. Last year, Bobby Crosby here, a couple of home runs deep. This one way above, almost hit the Hall of Fame in left field.
Gabe Gross drills one to center. to Jesus back, and he's got it. So 1 out here in the 4th.
Well, Rosales just very aggressive and follow through. And by the time Jack Cust knew it was gone, and he was hitting second as Rosales was approaching second, and had to shut it down, slow it down, get in more of a trot. Look at it. He does not like that. Come on, Jack. Is it Jack he almost caught?
It was.
In Oakland. And Jack said, forget it. It's too hot to sprint. 21 seconds took him an extra 6 to get around the bases. Watch him shut it down. Jack said, no way.
Those numbers. 7 games, 500 with 8 RBIs.
That started with a Carmona home run in Cleveland. He gave it Mazzaro pitched, as a matter of fact, and the A's won that game 3-1, and his home run gave the A's the insurance, making it 3-1 at the time. But they say you play yourself into the lineup. I'd say Adam Rosales is doing a pretty good job of it.
He's now got 7 home runs and 31 runs batted in. The average over 280. Two the count to Landon Powell. So that home run by Rosales, the first home run the A's have hit in this series.
It's home run number 58 on the season, which I guess Houston and Pittsburgh hit a couple, which put them ahead of the Athletics, and the A's last in the home run department. So you could say they're not hitting a lot, but in this case, hitting at the right time. Give the A's the lead.
Full count now to Powell. Bannister just not sharp in this inning. And he walked him. That is the 4th walk in the ball game.
Well, as much as Brian Bannister likes pitching in day baseball, which his numbers prove it, you'd have to think of this kind of weather. Might not be such a good idea. It's 21-8 day baseball, 16-37 at night in his career. You mentioned 4-0 this year.
Rajai Davis spins on one, and this one's down the left field line, and it's fair. Landon Powell digging for third, and he will make it. Rajai Davis to second with a double. Well, the A's second and third and 1 out for Cliff Pennington.
I left the ball up again, and so Bannister kind of missing location, pitching down in the first 3 innings, getting out some tough jams and pitching well. I think here, if the third baseman had been at the bag, it might have been a play at third. Landon Powell was really pushing it to get the third base on the double by Rajai.
So the infield comes in for the Royals.
Seriously, they could come about halfway, not all the way. So we'll see if it helps. Landon Powell more likely will not be going on any contact on the ground. So Landon getting a chance to start today, and he's been on base twice now in 2 at-bats in the first 4 innings.
Pennington straight back to the screen, so he's behind in the count 0-2. Looper down the left field line, but that will be foul. Podsednik gives it a chase. Pennington walked in the 3rd inning. 2-pitch, he lays off. That was inside and low, 1-2. To left field, Podsednik. He's got it, and here comes Landon Powell, and Podsednik doesn't even make an effort to throw home, and Powell scores. So Pennington with a sacrifice fly. Not sure what Podsednik was thinking. You got to make an effort to throw him out, right?
And first of all, I'm really glad that Mike Geigo sent it, because Landon Powell, we know, does not run that fast. And you just have to wonder what kind of scout reports they have received.
Well, just make an effort.
Yeah. And even Caspo at third on the ball, Rajay hit to left field. Stay on the bag and make a play. So good break for the A's. And Gallego, of course, with one out, Mike sending him without any hesitation. And sure, Landon thinking that better run hard. Might be a collision of the plate trying to score, but no throw. Surprising. Very
Pennington gets RBI number 29, and the A's lead 3-1. Another RBI out there for Coco Crisp. Hits it hard on the ground, right to the second baseman gets. Flips to first, side retired. A's scored 3 times, 2 coming on 7th home run of the year from Adam Rosales. A long one down the left field line. So we're headed to the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 Athletics. Bay Area. Lots of baseball today on Sunday. British Open, the final round, and the NHRA at Infinium. Damon Andrews and Henry Wolford will host. So the A's score 3 in the top of the 4th inning, and they now have the 3-1 lead. Butler, Guillen, and Callaspo against Mazzaro. First pitch in the first strike to Butler, who had the RBI single in the first inning. On the ground to Pennington. He's got it. And that is out number 1. So Jose Guillen steps up to the plate. We'll see what Mazzaro, how he handles a little run support. Swing and a miss. Good pitching matchup at Yankee Stadium today. Price and Pettit. Price 12-4, Andy Pettit 11-2. That's the rubber game of that 3-game series between the Rays and the Yankees. They are tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. How about the Indians leading 5-2 over the Tigers, bottom of the 7th in Cleveland. And they are going for the 4-game sweep of the Tigers. And Indians won both games of that doubleheader and leading today. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. So Jose Guillen strikes out. Strikeout number 2 for Vin Mazzaro. Mazzaro has not walked anybody. So here's Alberto Callaspo. Callaspo takes inside. Rajai Davis made a nice play. Take a hit away from Callaspo in the second inning.
I think the Gremlin's got my microphone. Had to go another one. Yeah, got a new one.
Fly ball left center field. Coco Crisp has a beat on it, and that is a good inning for Vin Mazzaro. A ground out, a strikeout, and a fly out. 5th inning coming up. A's lead 3-1. This is hit by a pitch. Mark seems to be okay as he trots to first.
Well, just got away up and in. He got him the ribs. That's 66 pitch thrown by Bannister. And you mentioned the 4 walks. That's 33 strikes, 33 balls that he's thrown. A lot of threes.
So that'll bring up Kuzminov. And again, the A's have their leadoff man aboard. 4th time in 5 innings. Inside to Kuzminov, who is 0 for 2. A line out in the first, and a ground out in the third. Ellis takes off, pitches high, throw to second base is in time, and Ellis is out. So Kendall throws out Mark Ellis, trying to steal for the first out here in the 5th.
Well, a very quick release by Jason Kendall as Mark Ellis trying to get the stolen base so the A's will be assured of winning the game, consider their very good record. But Jason threw it right on the bag with Getz covering and straddling the bag, unlike hit us on Friday. Who did not?
Kuzminoff belts one to left field. It's deep, and it is gone. Another long one as Kuzminoff has homered, and the A's lead 4-1.
On the way he swung the bat since the All-Star break, swinging very well, and boy, did he crush that one again. One that almost hit the Hall of Fame here in Kansas City. The 1-1 pitch, a hanging slider. He crushed it, provided all the power himself, and his first since the 21st of June. Been a little bit of a drought for Kuz, but maybe it took his dad to come in and watch him from Colorado.
Dad's happy right now.
Yes, he is.
Kuzminoff's had a big series, 5 hits and 6 RBIs so far. So that one measured at 407 feet. That went over the A's bullpen. 0-2 to Jack Cust. So Rosales a 2-run homer in the 4th. Kuzminoff a solo home run here in the 5th. Swing there by Cust, fouls it straight back. Cust walked in front of the Rosales home run in the 4th inning. He struck out in the 1st. Swing and a miss. Got him on a pitch out of the strike zone. So 2 strikeouts for Bannister. Both times he's got Cust. Here's our legendary performance. It's brought to you by Nation's Giant Hamburgers. In the year of the pitcher, we celebrate Brett Saberhagen's no-hitter here in Kansas City. It was August 26th of 1991. So Big Frank Thomas made the last out. Brett Maine was behind the plate that night. It was one of 7 no-hitters in the 1991 season. You've got a giant appetite. It's got to be Nation's Brett Saberhagen.
Well, you knew it had to be an odd year in a sense of every time Saberhagen had a good year, it was not an even. It had to be 91, 93, 95, 97.
Yeah.
Anytime he had an even year, did not have a good year.
And what a surprise, they won the World Series in an odd year,
That's
right?
right.
85. Steve Busby, a couple of no-hitters.
Yes.
There's Brett Saberhagen. He had a good time.
Yeah, he did. That's the Hall of Fame out in left field. There's the various video tributes to these great players that played for the Royals.
Two and 1 the count to Rosales.
Bannister is pitching out of the stretch for a reason with nobody on base, but maybe he feels more comfortable since he has pitched out of the stretch a lot in today's game. But I don't see anybody on base, do you?
No, I don't. I do not. One pitch is low, and that's another walk. 5 walks now by Bannister.
A couple of games in which he has walked 4 this year, but that is the first 5-walk game. Just in the 5th inning.
Just looking at Brett Saberhagen's career, Ray, and you are right on. He won the Cy Young in 1985 and 1989.
Yeah, it was amazing. He just he might as well have just sat out any even years.
Gabe Gross is 0 for 2. Ground out to first and a fly ball to center field. Rosales takes off. Kendall's throw is a good one, and Rosales is out. Well, Jason Kendall throws out a couple of base runners here in the 5th, but the A's get a run thanks to Kevin Kuzminoff, a solo home run to left field, his 9th of the year. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 4-1 Athletics. Summer with their delicious barbecue chicken pizza. Premium grilled chicken, smoky bacon, and a tangy barbecue drizzle. It's barbecue taste at a special summer price. Call Roundtable today. Come to Kansas City, though. Barbecue is the food of choice. They have some good barbecue here, folks.
A whole bunch of it.
Yep. You can find it on every street corner. 4-1 A's, bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom of the Royals lineup. Mitch Meyer, Unieski Betancourt, and Chris Getz. Four hits so far for the Royals. There's a line drive to right field, a base hit.
A big poppy Kevin Youkilis, Josh Beckett, and the rest of the Red Sox visit Oakland for their first trip to the Coliseum in 2010. Come see the A's return home following this short road trip to Kansas City and enjoy $1 hot dogs on July 21st as part of Bart Double Play Wednesday. For tickets, visit OaklandAthletics.com. That's tomorrow night. Big Poppy, there he is, the Home Run Derby champion of 2010 in Anaheim. Red Sox finishing out their series against the Rangers this afternoon and be heading west for the first of 2 trips the Red Sox will make to the Coliseum this year.
The A's have already been to Boston. The Red Sox will come back September 10th, 11th, and 12th for a weekend series. That is right below us, folks. In fact, if we looked out over our booth, that's what we would see. Nice little area. Special seating area.
Well, downstairs where we're going to the clubhouse, before heading upstairs, they have an area, Crown Club or something like that. But
Diamond Club, yeah, I think that's it, right?
Well, and that's inside dining, though. They can sit and watch the games from inside, but also they have the dining. And these types of days, I'm sure there are a lot of folks dining in that area.
So Betancourt strikes out, and that's the first out here in the fifth.
A slide step, but a good fastball up and maybe out of the strike zone. But as we have seen, Betancourt is not one to take a lot of pitches. Cahill wished he would have taken the 2-1 fastball hit last night for a grand slam.
First pitch to Chris Getz is a strike. Getz hit a little dribbler down the first base line that Mazzaro picked up and tagged him in the third inning. Getz came over from the White Sox in the offseason.
The popular players for Kansas City, Mark T in that trade.
He's T-hand to the White Sox for Getz and Josh Fields. We talked about the Royals disabled list, and Josh Fields is a guy who really has not played at all this year. He had hip surgery, and they were thinking that he could supply some power for the Royals this year. No Josh Fields. They got Getz in the deal as well.
The idea was to move Gordon Beckham to second and have Mark Tien play third. Don't know. We haven't seen him all year, so
no, I have no idea what's going on with the White Sox.
We'll find out next weekend. You know, as Ozzie Gann has his White Sox playing well.
Losing today, Twins 3, White Sox 2. Top of the fifth inning in Minnesota. That's the fourth and final game of that series. Twins have won 2 out of the 3 so far. And the Twins trying to get back in it. They're 2.5 back now. It'll be a fun race. Those 3 teams in the AL Central: Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, and really it's been those 3 teams battling for the last 3 or 4 years. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So back-to-back strikeouts for Mazzaro.
That's a good sharp slider down and in again. Struck out Meyer with a similar slider, and boy, a very difficult pitch to hit down towards your kneecaps, coming into the left-hander.
Top of the order in Podsednik. Podsednik, a fly ball to left field in the first and a single in the third. .66 pitches for Mazzaro, 45 strikes and 21 balls. Done a pretty good job in that area. The inning that made him work was the first. He threw 23 pitches in the first inning, but since then he's been very good.
Players happy now with a little bit of a cloud cover, so the sun is not beating down on them. It makes it a very enjoyable day with the sun not peeking through. They talked about scattered thunderstorms throughout the day. We have not experienced any of that during this weekend so far, and just keep it like that for another couple of hours, maybe 3 hours or 4, just to be able to fly out of here.
Get us out of town.
Came in 1967 when I mentioned last night, joined the Cleveland Indians, and they said, you know, Kansas City is the worst place ever to fly out of. And sure enough, we left on Sunday, It's like a bouncing basketball flying out of the airport. All right.
Well, the fact that you still remember it.
Oh, it was, yeah. One worse than that was July the 4th, 1969, when I was serving my 2 weeks military active duty and flying back into Cleveland. I had to stop in someplace on the Pennsylvania border because they had a tornado come through Cleveland. I remember that was bouncing too.
Really?
An unannounced tornado hit Lake Erie. Came in right off the lake, and a lot of devastation.
Usually you sort of see a tornado coming.
Yeah, not then. It just Lake Erie.
Full count to Podsednik, so Meyer will take off on the pitch. He goes, and it's up and away, ball 4. First walk issued by Mazzaro.
Atlanta Powell out to visit his pitcher and simply to say, get on top of the ball. He dropped down, dropped his elbow, and pushed the ball, and as a result, stayed out of the strike zone.
So a little bit of a jam here for Mazzaro. There are 2 outs as he faces Kendall, who's 2 for 2. Kendall singled and scored in the first, singled again in the third. First pitch to Kendall is in for a strike. Rangers still leading the Red Sox 3-1, bottom of the 7th inning at Fenway. A quick 0-2 to Kendall. The Mariners and the Angels will get underway in a little bit. Vargas and Santana. The Angels are going for the 4-game sweep at home of the Mariners. Oh, 2 to Kendall. Fastball just missed. The Angels have an interesting week coming up. 2 in New York and then 4 in Texas.
What a schedule.
Yeah.
It's part of that 55,000 miles they're traveling this year.
Kendall, the flare, but Mark Ellis has it. Side retired. So a hit and a walk, but no runs as the Royals strand a pair. We're headed to the 6th inning. Still 4-1 Athletics. Teams usually have 2 people. Does each person have a specific thing that they have to talk about when they come to the game? That's a good question.
Let's see, it's Sunday, but no dibs today. It's too hot for Sunday dibs. Yeah, my job is talk about food.
Food.
Can't wait to get back. Busy Bee Baker said they're going to ship goodies to Minneapolis.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
perfect. That's the most important thing.
Right.
I would say, if you really want a simple definition, myself being the play-by-play guy, I tell you what happens, and you being the color analyst maybe tells us why it happens, right?
So that's a good
Break it down a little bit. But there are some specific things that each of us do.
But the most important thing is to be able to talk about a winner.
Yeah.
Talk about a club that's playing well. The A's are doing exactly that, trying to finish off a sweep and get to 500 to head to the Bay Area, where tonight get off the plane and say, "Whoa, we need a jacket."
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
We're all looking forward to that. That is Vinny.
See, now on the radio side, it's a little bit different. There's not quite as much analysis from the second announcer. Betancourt has it, and he flips to first. And on the radio side, the lead man, Ken Korach, does 6 innings of play-by-play. Vin Cotroneo does 3. Vinny does, was it 3, 4, and 7? Is that correct?
And the pregame show, and he'll do a postgame interview, scores.
But we have replays on TV that the color analyst, Ray Fosse, takes care of. Tells us why it happened. They don't have those things on radio, obviously.
They see our replays. They usually get the feed that we have, the TV feed, so they can watch our feed and know what we're talking about, in a sense, by the players that are on the screen. The viewers are watching.
Landon Powell hits one to center field, where DeJesus goes back, and he's got it.
Now, we were talking last night as they were going back to the Kansas City A's days. Got a note from Monty Moore. We were talking about the white shoes. And we were right when he said Monty should have been here. He said he got a million stories, but it said a note that said in the opening, I think the 67 season, they brought out the white shoes. And Charlie Finley said to the announcer, say they're albino kangaroos from an exclusive farm in Australia. And he said, of course, he found out, checked, there was no such thing as an albino kangaroo. But Joe Adcock was managing the Indians, and as soon as the first pitch was thrown, he went out and filed a protest saying that the hitters were being distracted by the white shoes of the pitcher coming up too high.
Okay. Same color as the baseball.
Same color as the baseball. And Monty said the protest was not needed because the Indians could see the ball well enough. They scored 7 runs.
See, that's why we need Monty Moore here, right there.
And he said just one of a million stories about Charlie O and the Oakland, or the Kansas City Athletics, soon to become the Oakland A's. And of course, Monty was with the team here. Kansas City, traveled west and brought out those white shoes. Can you imagine, as Monty said, I think he told me that they had a kind of a tour where they went around in Oakland before the 68 season. He said, imagine all these guys wearing white shoes in the wintertime in Oakland.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that was the story about the white shoes.
So it was in a what?
Albino kangaroos from an exclusive farm in Australia.
Well, now that I'm so deep into this Charlie Finley book, that does not surprise me at all.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Yeah. Well, you saw the rabbit we showed last night, that the baseball, the rabbit would pop up with baseballs, the mule.
Sheep grazing in right field. That one's hit hard, right center field, but DeJesus is going to get to this one. So Bannister gets a badly needed 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up. It'll be DeJesus, Butler, and Guillen, 4-1 Athletics. Freeze Cam. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Well, a good challenge inning for Vin Mazzaro. De Jesus Butler Guillen, 3, 4, and 5 in the Royals lineup. Mazzaro has a 4-1 lead. Another solid outing so far for the young right-hander. De Jesus 0 for 2. De Jesus 0 for 10 in this series.
Nice thing, Vinny Mazzaro gave up a run in the first inning, and just like Trevor Cahill, 5 in the second last night, and like Cahill last night, Mazzaro settles down, gives up nothing the next 4. Gets a big out with Kendall, with 2 on last inning, and a nice first out in this inning. The ground ball. I think that's what you like to see in a pitcher, and sometimes coming out of the bullpen, Ben Sheets was talking about it throughout his career. First inning seems to be tough, and we'll see tomorrow night when he faces the Red Sox. But you try to figure it out, change the bullpen. If you get to the first inning, you can see guys settle down. And I think Dave Stewart, one of the pitchers who had so much success with the A's in the late 80s, early 90s, first inning, he was always trying to just manage the inning, to get out of a minimal amount of damage. Of course, won at least 24 consecutive years, so not a bad.
Yeah, he must have figured it out.
He figured it out. He'd run about 7 or 8 games in April, pitching all the time, and get off to a great start. Take the A's to the postseason, World Series.
Good pitch by Mazzaro down around the knees. 1-2 to Butler. Up over the mound. Pennington has it behind the bag, throws, and Rosales kept his foot on the bag. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Everybody's going to argue this one with Jeff Nelson.
And the home plate umpire coming down. I don't know if Jeff Kellogg's going to do anything, but boy, just watching it with the naked eye. Well, we'll see on a replay that Jeff Nelson will not be able to see until after the game. But just the way the play developed, looked like he came off the bag. Mazzaro got a glove on the ball over the head as Butler and deflected it to Pennington. This is going to be a perfect shot to see if Rosales kept his foot on the bag, and he did not even close. Wow. Not even close.
Look at this, folks.
Has the ball in the glove? No, he pulled it off, and it was close there. But his foot had started to come off the bag, and the continuation, the A's like to call it a break, a big break.
So 2 outs, a couple of ground ball outs, and here's Jose Guillen. That one bounced over the mound, and that one gets through into center field. A 2-out hit for Guillen. And that's his first hit in the series. Remember, he does not run very well. Some leg issues right now. But you may need him to swing the bat one more time in the late innings, so you don't want to take him out. Here's Callaspo. In the hole, Pennington throws to Markella, side retired. So Mazzaro has a decent 6th inning, and we head to the 7th, still 4-1 Athletics. 7th inning as Pennington leads things off. Brian Bannister, who has been a little wobbly at times today. He's walked 5, struck out 2, given up 5 hits. He's going to be back in the stretch again. The A's have their leadoff man aboard.
And then Yost has had the bullpen working each of the last 3 innings. But Bannister having given up the home run to Kuzminoff in the 5th inning. Got through the 5th, the 6th rather easily, and now leadoff base hit on the curveball.
Top of the order, and Coco Crisp. Crisp is 0 for 2 today with a walk. He's 1 for 12 in the series. He's struggling right now, and the average down under 250. The Yankees have taken a 7-3 lead over the Rays in the 6th inning. That game just a couple innings ago was tied at 3. Not anymore. Again off the plate, 2-0. Mariners and the Angels are underway. No score top of the 2nd inning. That time, Bannister catches the outside corner, 2-1. Texas 3, Boston 1, top of the 8th inning. Betancourt ranging far to his left. Get the out at second base. Throw back to first down in town. Nice play by Betancourt.
Really no chance to double up Coco Crisp. He runs too well. Plus he's running out of the box once he does hit the ball, and he was across the bag easily. Fans booing because maybe they called him out, even though he's already about 4 feet past the bag. So Coco, a tough series. Will he try to steal the bag? Hit on base a lot this series to attempt to steal a base.
Jason Kendall has thrown out a couple of runners today, both coming in the same inning, the 5th inning. He got Ellis and Rosales trying to steal second.
Quick feet, quick release, an accurate throw both times by Jason.
There's Crisp, and Kendall's throw to second base is high, and Crisp has a stolen base. Got a good jump. So that's the 6th for Crisp on the year, and for the A's in this series, it's their 5th stolen base.
The quick throw again, but it was too high, and Coco with the head first slide. Of course, the protection where he broke his finger is left pinky. But it was not the slide that fractured the finger. It was the tag by Urabio of the Giants. There's a difference. You get a hard tag. We noticed in this series when guys, the A's have slid feet first, have not been a lot of hard tags. Let's just try to make a quick tag and get out of the way of the spikes coming in hard.
Getz trying to keep Crisp close, and Crisp takes off for third. Kendall's throw, not in time. So Crisp steals second, and then he steals third, and now he's at third with 1 out.
Now, Mark Ellis, give him credit. He's taken a couple of pitches which one of the scoreboard been called strikes. But just a running jump, big lead, and the percentage goes from 1,000 to 500 for Jason Kendall. Those 2 stolen bases in this inning, but it gives Mark Ellis a chance to drive him in from third, although now it's 0-2 count.
Infield in, and pitches outside. So the count is 1-2.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was 0-2, and that pitch was in the dirt. Jeff Kellogg just confirmed it, I guess. I don't know. At least it says on the scoreboard 1-2.
That one spins Ellis out of the way. Almost hit him again. So full count to Ellis, who has worked his way back with Kevin Kuzminoff waiting in the on-deck circle. Three-two pitch, and Bannister just missed outside, and Ellis takes the walk. Close pitch. There's walk number 6, and Ned Yost is coming out. And he's going to go to the bullpen. To be Kaneko Teixeira coming in when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
A's trying to add to their lead. It's 4-1, but they have first and third and 1 out. Brian Bannister leaves. 102 pitches and 6 walks and a couple of home runs is what he gave up. So the new pitcher, Kaneko Teixeira. We saw Teixeira early in the season with the Seattle Mariners, but he was placed on waivers by the Mariners, and the Royals picked him up.
And not throwing nearly as hard as he did with the Mariners. Maybe this heat humidity will help him here in Kansas City get his velocity back. That looks like pretty good.
Good swing by Kuzminoff, fouls it back.
I can't see enough of this swing by Kuz. And pitch was up, looked like it might have been a slider, but the fact that it went so far and so quickly, somewhere, the parents, I hope underneath the overhang, staying cool, They're from Colorado, the parents of Kevin Kuzminoff. Watching this game here today in Kansas City and enjoyed very much seeing their son hit the home run. They liked it so much here, they're going to drive to Chicago in a couple of weeks.
Are they? Good.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 to Kuzminoff, and he just got a piece of that one. Well, the Indians indeed finished off that sweep of the Tigers. The Indians won 7-2 today in Cleveland. 4-game sweep. White Sox leading the Twins 6-3, bottom of the 6th inning. Kuzminoff drives one to right field. That's hit well. Mitch Meyer going back, still going back, and he caught it. Coco Crisp tags up, comes in to score, so it'll be a sacrifice fly for Kuzminoff. But a sensational catch by Mitch Meyer in right field. The A's will take the run. It's now 5-1.
What a great play by Meyer, because Kevin Kuzminoff got a hanging breaking ball. Tremendous strength going opposite field. It just looked like Meyer was not that comfortable going after the ball, and boy, did he hit the ball hard. The padded post very hard and held on to the ball. Fortunately, there was no rounding of first by Kuz so much, and Mark Ellis going back and having passed the runner. Ball was caught though, and great play by Meyer.
Another RBI for Kuzminoff. He's now got 47 on the year. He's got 7 in this series.
The great thing about Kuz in this series, and of course we've seen him all year, but the fact he's using the whole field.
Big time, yeah.
He's in this series, and Friday and Saturday hitting the ball in the opposite field, and then pulling a home run today and a sac fly to right field.
Pitch to Cust is outside 2-0. Cust a couple of walks, or a couple of strikeouts, I should say, and a walk. He scored a run in the 4th. He scored on the Rosales home run. So the A's add a run in here in the 7th inning to make it a 5-1 game. Betancourt playing behind the bag at second, fields the ground ball, throws out Cust. Side retired, a run for the Athletics on the Cust, or on the Kuzminoff sac fly. 5-1 Athletics. He has a 5-1 lead. So Mazzaro try to work his way through the 7th inning. Kevin Kuzminoff, one of the hitting heroes today, a home run, a couple of RBIs, as the A's going for the sweep here in Kansas City and a chance to get to the 500 mark.
Mug Root Beer Float Day, presented by Pepsi, is coming up on Wednesday, August the 4th. Celebrities and athletes will be serving floats made with Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream beginning at 10:30 a.m. in the Eastside Club. Floats are just $2, and you get autographs and photos for tipping extra. Lots of tips. Limited amount of autographed Andrew Bailey mugs will be on sale for $25, and proceeds go to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Get tickets online, oaklandathletics.com. Oh, does that look good?
That's what I want to do right now.
Oh, there must be a contest.
I hope so. If there's not, I'm concerned about that young man.
That's a good point.
Mitch Meyer, Unieski Betancourt, Chris Getz. Bottom 3 for the Royals against Ben Mazzaro. Mazzaro, pitch count, that was 87. On the ground, hit hard, but Mark Ellis has it, flips to first, and then is out number 1.
Gio Gonzalez, 7 innings on Friday night. Cahill last night, 6 2/3 innings. After a 5-run second inning, Cahill retired 16 in a row. So the tall Lincoln, when Jared Blutman's getting loose for the A's, the bullpen. But he does done a very good job today by getting quick outs. You mentioned the quick innings with, well, really the first and the 5th when he threw a lot of pitches. But other than that, he's kept the pitch count down. The guys have gotten back to the dugout quickly, and they've been so appreciative. They've scored 5 runs.
There is Blevins. Right now, Mazzaro is in charge. Kuzminoff. That's a tough play on the backhand. And throws, and Betancourt is retired. A little short hop, backhand. Kuzminoff handled it, no problem.
Goes down as a 5-3 in your scorebook, but put a couple of stars by because that ball was smoked. And the nice backhand, good hands, good glove by Kuz, and it's a frustrated Betancourt easily.
Getz slowly hit to short. Pennington's going to have to hurry. He does, and he gets Getz. Very nice inning. 3 ground ball outs for Ben Mazzaro with a little help from his defense. Kuzminoff makes a nice play, and the A's take a 5-1 lead into the 8th. waterfalls. One of the things that have not changed here at Kauffman Stadium. Getz knocks it down, and he's not going to have enough time to get up and throw out the speedy Rosales. So Rosales is aboard on the air.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Rosales.
Well, when you hit a ball on the right side, your second baseman said, well, I can bobble the ball, still have plenty of time. But you don't have any time with Rosales running. He runs hard, and Getz actually went after the ball like he thought he had a lot of time. And once again, I think it shows that maybe some of the Royals don't know a lot of the A's players and their ability to run or not. Because that's a play, he's got to pounce on it quickly because of the speed of Rosales.
That's a good call. Rosales takes off. The ball bounced by Gross toward third. Throw to first. Gross is retired, but Rosales goes to second. So 1 out here in the 8th with a runner in scoring position. A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Cash Creek's Cash Fortune. $500 in cash every hour from 2 p.m. until midnight. Visit cashcreek.com for details. Like the annual hot dog throw.
How high is he?
Look out. Landon Powell a chance to drive in a run.
I was thinking about, we mentioned the All-Star game will be here in Kansas City in 2012. And it would be at this time. And if they have this type of weather, it's going to be warm. But the home run hitting contest, the home run derby should be spectacular with balls going in and over the fountains, left field and right field.
I was going to say, you think that landing up above the fountains, which is a real nice area. With, you can walk up there, you can sit up there. Concession stands, but that'll be danger area for a home run derby.
Yeah, it says dry duck fountain seats above left center. Yeah, I don't know how dry you're going to be if you're sitting up there. It's a long shot, but in the home run derby, guys are throwing about 65, 70 miles an hour. It's going to be very inviting. As long as we have participants, a lot of guys are bowing out of the home run derby, which means you're getting some newer guys in who enjoy it, make it nice, and think it's good.
There's also guys that you feel like have to be in the home run derby. Like Adam Dunn. He has to be in the home run hitting contest. I don't think he was. Left field, Podsednik racing over, and he reaches out to make the catch.
Did he make the All-Star team?
No, he did not.
Well, you have to make it, I think, don't you?
Do you?
I think you have to be. I want to say you have to be an All-Star before you can participate.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But Big Papi, David Ortiz asked, he wanted to be in it. He had not been in it since 06, and he said, I want it, and he ended up winning it. Impressive thing about Big Papi, and Ramirez, who he was competing against in the finals, he ended up giving him some advice on how to hit.
That's a base hit for Rajay Davis. Here comes Rosales. Throw to the plate is not in time. Another 2-out hit for the Athletics, and it's 6-1. So Rajay Davis, a 2-for-4 afternoon, a single and a double, and now an RBI.
I got a pitch outside and decided it, well, they called the right side. I'll take it that way. And Rajay, who hit a double to left field, line drive to center field. This time goes the opposite field, and with Rosales running, no chance of throwing out the speedy one at the plate. So the A's pick up another run. And the error is costly.
Quick throw to first. Davis gets back. Nobody knows it more than him. Getz still shaking his head. Rajay Davis takes off. Kendall's throw is there, and Davis is out. So Jason Kendall's had a busy afternoon. That's the third runner he has thrown out as he gets Davis, but the A's get a run. And Rajay single, 6-1. In the 5th inning, a solo shot. Kuzmanov's had a huge series. So the 6 runs by the A's, enough so far for Vin Mazzaro. He has pitched 7 very good innings, and the good news is he's back out there in the 8th. So Mazzaro pitching into the 8th inning. That is our McDonald's game summary. Faces the top of the order, and he's got a 5-run lead. Podsednik pops it up, and that's going to reach the seats above the A's dugout. So the count 0-2. 6-7-0 for the A's, and for the Royals 1-6-2. So 2 more errors. The A's, or the Royals, have committed 5 errors in this series, and it has cost them. This time, Podsednik's attempt at an infield hit. Pennington says, I'm going to grab this one, and he does. Podsednik did the same thing in the 3rd, but got a hit out of it, but not this time.
This is a 2-strike slap attempt. Although it's not considered a bunt, so he slaps at it and slapped it foul. You could not say it was a bunt attempt, and it's a strikeout.
Here's Kendall, and he takes a bit outside. They've gone to the bottom of the 9th at Fenway. The Rangers with a 4-1 lead. Kendall is 2 for 3 in the afternoon. A couple of singles. He scored in the 1st inning. Kendall swings and misses. You do not see him chase bad pitches very often. That one was way outside. Fastball runs high, 2-2. I think, Ray, it's going to be some tired Athletics players playing in the hot sun today when everybody gets on the plane. And then Mazzaro is going to be one of them. Pitch 8 innings or close to into the 8th inning in this kind of weather. But he's done a terrific job.
Well, that means they won't go for the food before we do. That maybe they'll all be asleep.
Come on.
What? Well, it's
now our viewers have this picture of Big Ray Fosse. Just get out of the way. I'm first in line.
No. But
get out of the way.
You know, people have to realize when this game is over, Chuck Hobb, who's the visiting clubhouse manager, going to have this tremendous food. And we're going to leave in about an hour. And as soon as we get on the plane, these guys jump straight for the food.
After eating 45 minutes ago.
Exactly. So that's why, after this weather, they'll be in their seats and sound asleep.
So you're saying you and I worked hard all day? Guys in the truck who've been here since 6:30 a.m.
They stopped at Sonic, though.
Working hard. We should be first in line.
No, we don't always think about food, but
well, Vin Mazzaro, a new career high, 7 2/3, and he's going to try to finish off the 8th. It's fun watching a young pitcher, Ray, because every time they do something that they haven't done before, it's such a learning process. And I'm talking about good and bad.
Absolutely.
Today is all good for Vin Mazzaro.
Well, said it before. 1st, 5th, and the 9th. The 3 most important innings for a pitcher and starter. And then he's approaching that 9th. He's gotten through the 1st and the 5th today very nicely.
DeJesus, a line drive, and DeJesus has his first hit in the series. And Bob Guerin's coming out. So Bob Guerin's making the move to the bullpen. So Mazzaro 7 2/3 innings. He gives up the 2-out hit to DeJesus, and that's going to be it. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Terrific outing by Vin Mazzaro, 7 2/3 innings.
Check out the sunglasses.
I love those sunglasses.
Bart's got his nice ones on, but Ben Sheets got the flip downs.
So when do you flip them down in the dugout?
You don't.
You just leave them up?
Yeah, yeah. You're just looking cool. Don't even put a cap on. See, you have to have the cap. So you hit the bill of the cap and they flip down. But
that's our Ben Sheets there, folks.
Cahill saying, you didn't do that to me last night. And he will be pitching tomorrow night at the Coliseum. So,
what a play by Pennington. Scrambles after it, flips to Ellis, side, retired. Terrific play by Cliff Pennington. He takes a hit away from Billy Butler. So a hit and a runner left. 6-1 A's. Podsednik. So Pennington has his second hit.
A perfect day for him. Walk, sack, fly, and 2 hits. And
Ben Sheets celebrating his 32nd birthday with his good friends.
And that shot that you're seeing right there, they have what they call kiss cam here. A lot of parks have the kiss cam. Well, they showed that threesome on Diamond Vision with a big heart around it. Fortunately, it was a group hug, and that was it.
But funny nonetheless.
With Sheets, everything is.
Yeah, that's true. Coco Chris flies out to DeJesus for the first out. Victor Marte, as we get our first look at this right-hander in this series. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So Marte making his 17th appearance. Brought up on the 29th of May. That one's hit to the gap, and it's going to drop in for a hit by Mark Ellis, and Pennington digging for third, and he will make it. Ellis goes to second, and he's safe. How about that?
Well, you like the first to third aggressiveness, and Mark Ellis, once he saw the throw going to third, continued on to second. Fastball, the guys are jumping on first pitches in this inning. 3 batters, just 4 pitches, and Podsednik throwing off balance. Cliff Pennington got it with the 3-hop going to third. Mark Ellis just trailed him right into second easily.
Well, Mark Ellis has been on base all 5 times. 2 hits, a fielder's choice, a walk, and a hit by pitch. So he's getting his exercise as well. Infield comes in for Kevin Kuzminoff, who has a chance now to have a huge day. It's already been good. Home run, sacrifice fly, so a couple of RBIs for Kuzminoff. Couple of hits in the inning for the A's. 9 now in the game. Pitch stays high to Kuz. Remember back in the first inning, Kuzminoff came up with first and second, nobody out. He had a line drive that Callaspo, the third baseman, dove to his left and caught it in the air. That would have probably been another hit and another RBI for Kuzminoff.
Well, what Kuz did his last at bat, going deep to right field, that says a lot about what you try to do with the runner at third and less than 2 outs.
Broken bat line drive. Callaspo grabs it and he scrambles to third, but Pennington's able to get back ahead of Callaspo. So Kuzminoff is retired.
Oh, they tried to catch it with Pennington coming down the line, and he tried to reach to his left, which he did, and reach back to his right to get Pennington, who went around the tag. Pennington taking the step as soon as contact was made, as he was probably going on contact with the ball on the ground, but almost got caught with the ball in the air.
Here's Cust. Cust to right field. That's hit well. Meyer going back, and he's going to watch this baby go. Jack Cust, a 3-run homer. A little icing on the cake. It's now 9-1 A's.
Jack saying probably he can trot around the bases, did not have to worry about Rosales catching him this time. So Jack Cust gets in the 3-home run column. First pitch hitting, first pitch fastball belt high, and Jack crushed it. You know, the Fountains are very close in right field. Nice swing, nice sound. Jack Cust does indeed put the icing on the delicious cake.
So the A's have hit a solo homer, a 2-run homer, and now a 3-run homer.
Coco Crisp hit the last 2 3-run home runs. Only 8 3-run home runs for the A's this year.
What a good series, Ray. The A's have scored 20 runs now in this series. 10 hits today, 31 hits in the series. Lots of extra base hits, lots of doubles, and now the 3 home runs today. Swing and a miss by Adam Rosales. Side retired, but Jack Cust, a 3-run homer deep to right field. And the A's have completely blown this baby open. As we head to the bottom of the ninth, it's the A's 9 and the Royals 1. A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Say yes to amazing deals on your favorite Toyotas. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, yes. By Xfinity, the next generation in home entertainment. Now available in the Bay Area and coming soon to the Central Valley. By Chevy, the full lineup of award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And by Verizon, the signal is yours. Wield it to transmit anything you want. Verizon. 9-1, the A's lead. Brad Ziegler will wrap this baby up as he faces Guillen, Callaspo, and Meyer. Guillen is 1 for 3. So the count now 1-2 to Jose Guillen. The A's 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th. As Guillen drops one down the left field line for a base hit. So Guillen has his second hit. And there'll be a pinch runner. Willie Bloomquist is going to run for Guillen. So Bloomquist now the runner. Guillen is done for the afternoon. And here is Callaspo. It's a final from Fenway. The Rangers beat the Red Sox 4-2. So after a very difficult loss yesterday, the Rangers come back and they beat John Lester today. And Texas takes 3 out of 4 at Fenway. So they have to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you look at last night's Cliff Lee lost it, actually gave up the tying run in the ninth inning with a couple of outs. He had a chance to win that one as well.
So Texas gets their 53rd win of the year. Angels leading Seattle 1-0, top of the 5th. So Boston will get on a flight. The Red Sox will head to Oakland. Looked at the Red Sox schedule, Ray, and they have an old-fashioned West Coast swing. They got 3 in Oakland, 4 in Seattle, 3 in Anaheim. So you don't see that a whole lot anymore with the 3 city trips, but that is exactly what the Red Sox will embark on starting tomorrow.
Time now for the Jeep Drives. The game has started with Adam Rosales, his 7th on a 3-1 fastball. That gave the A's a 2-1 lead. And Kevin Kuzminoff, his 9th. That would be a solo, and then Jack Cuss just framed one. Jack, a 3-run home run. And for Jack Cuss, his 5th of the season.
Bob Guerin's coming out, and he has made the call. So Ziegler gives up a single and a walk to start the 9th, and he's done for the afternoon. Cedric Bowers is coming in. So Bowers in, A's with a 9-1 lead here in the 9th. So the left-hander Cedric Bowers comes in, his first appearance in this series. Bowers 0-1 with a 4.26 ERA, 17 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. So Bowers will face Mitch Meyer. On deck is Betancourt. 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th. Meyer 1 for 3, singled in the 5th inning. Facing a left-hander for the first time. And now Powell and Bowers are going to get together on the sides.
One's a fastball, two's a curve. Second side with a runner on second.
Go get him.
That's it.
Fastball there on the outside corner, 0-2. Bloomquist and Callaspo are the runners, and this one bounced slowly to Kuzminoff. He cannot get it, and everybody's going to be safe. Do or die play for Kuzminoff on the big bouncer. So it's going to be a hit for Meyer.
Well, the lefty just trying to make contact, and that's about all you can do, because if he stays back, Meyer's going to beat it out anyway. They said E5?
No.
Is that what they said? Wow.
Betancourt pops it up. Rosales into foul territory. And he's got it. And Betancourt's retired.
Called for a fair catch. Rosales put up his head. And so the umpire, Jeff Nelson, put up his head calling for a fair catch. The ball was foul.
Well, maybe Rosales is calling for the infield fly rule himself.
But I got it. You better get it because nobody's close to you. And there's the hand going up for the infield fly rule for foul ball.
So that'll bring up Chris Getz with one out.
Mr. Meyer, I'm going to talk to the official score and say, you think he was going to throw me out if he stays back?
Yeah, that was not a good call. Sliced foul.
See, that's what happens on a play like that. You give it an error. And you say, wait a minute, I made the only play I could make. So in the future, I'll just stay back and take it on the big hop, staying back, slow hop, and let the guy be safe to avoid an error. I mean, it's not going to happen. They're going to still try to make the play, but you can't penalize a guy for a play like that.
I think even if he fields it clean, it's a very close play at first. I don't think that was normal effort by a fielder. 2-1 to Getz. Powell blocks it, looks for it, and then finds it right behind him. So the count 3-1.
Well, it's just a matter of trying to throw the body and glove anything you can and block the ball. He knew he had blocked it, kept it close enough because the runner was not coming down from third.
So Bowers has to throw a strike. And he does, and it's lofted down the right field line. Drops fair. 1 run scores. 2 runs are going to score. And gets to second with a double. Meyer stops at third. So it's 9-3. Gets with a 2-run double.
And again, another softly hit ball, but he placed it perfectly. And Gross got to it as quick as he could. Keep the ball, at least from the scoring, an extra run from scoring. Jerry Blevins getting back up again.
Here's the top of the order, Podsednik, who takes outside. Podsednik is 1 for 3, a single and a walk. And now 2-0. Meyer at third, gets the runner at second. There's a strike on the outside corner. Jason Kendall will be next.
Bailey's 1 pitch or 1 walk away from getting loose in the movement.
That one's bounced into right field, and that's a base hit. They're going to wave home Getz, and he will score. It's a 2-run single for Podsednik, and it's 9-5. So a couple of RBIs for Podsednik, 36 and 37, and Bob Guerin's coming out. And Bob Guerin is going to the bullpen. So Jerry Blevins will trot in.
Avidor presents the 5th annual A's Dog Day coming up on July the 3rd when the A's take on the Chicago White Sox in a series, the first time the White Sox, the Coliseum. Fun begins at 5:30 in the North parking lot with the Pup Rally. Register by July 19th as space is limited for the first 500 dogs. 19th is tomorrow. Tickets are $15 for each fan and dog, and $5 for every dog will be donated to the Dogs for Diabetics. Order tickets online, oaklandathletics.com.
Well, the Royals trying to make it interesting here in the bottom of the ninth. They have scored 4 times to make it a 9-5 game, and that Jack Cust home run looks pretty big now.
Yes, it does.
If he doesn't hit that home run, it's 6-5.
Or Andrew Beta would already been in the game.
That's true. Good call. Kendall takes a strike. Kendall 2 for 4. 4 runs and 4 hits for the Royals here in the bottom of the ninth. Just outside.
You just have to be happy that Betancourt swung at the first pitch and fouled it out to Gonzalez at first base. That was a bases loaded foul ball, infield fly rule, a foul ball.
Kendall hits from the center. Crisp going back, still going back, and he makes a nice running catch. So that is out number 2.
Well, fortunately, Coco Crisp and go back with the ball because Jason Kendall, with Coco playing shallow, really had to turn on the afterburners to get back, reach up, and make the catch as the ball near the warning track and center. Coco tracking it nicely and able to come up with it.
So here's David DeJesus now, 2 outs. Sednick, the runner at first, he's going to take second base. Probably give Kuzminoff an air on that play too.
Oh boy! I put base hit.
I'm leaving it. I am not changing. No. 0-1 to DeJesus, who is 1 for 4. And he loops one over Pennington's head, and that's a base hit. Sednick will score, and it's 9-6.
Andrew Bailey started this inning saying, well, we'll just go get dressed and head to Oakland with a 9-1 lead. And here he comes to the game now trying to save it.
So Bailey's coming in. It's 9-6. The Royals have scored 5 runs here in the bottom of the 9th inning to make it a 9-6 game. And believe it or not, it is now a save opportunity for Andrew Bailey. You come into the game in the middle of a ninth inning like this, and the tying run is in the on-deck circle, then it's a save opportunity, and that is the case. So Bailey comes in with De Jesus at first, 2 outs, and Billy Butler the hitter. Coming out on deck is Wilson Betemit. First pitch to Butler is hit to right field. Hit pretty well. Gross going back, still going back, and he makes the catch, and that's the ball game. So the Royals indeed make it interesting by scoring 5 times, but in the end, the A's win it 9-6, and they sweep this 3-game series. And the best news of all, Ray, A's record is now 46-46 thanks to a 5-game winning streak. So the A's will fly home, happy campers, and get ready for the Boston Red Sox. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Matt Morrison and Carney Lansford starts right now.